Wonders. That's episode 1954 here. I'm back with another video, and today's video is going to be Secret Food Studios' newest upload, Eldritch Paradox, The Last Crusade pilot episode. This came out today, and you probably can't see it because my webcam is blocking the time or whatever, but it is 1 hour long. So I've done one hour long video on this channel from Secret Food Studios, and there was a Siren Head video, the Siren Head movie that he did. So let's see what this has in store. I have not seen it yet, so we'll get into it in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, let's see.
Some legends survive empires. Some survive entire cycles. Grave World was one of them. Even the warriors of the First Legion, whose lives spanned ages beyond counting, knew this place only through stories. And yet, standing before it, they found themselves wondering whether those stories had ever captured the truth. One of them quietly asked if the legends were true. The other looked upon the endless horizon and answered simply, yes. This was Grave World.
What
the world
is that?
Should not exist. A graveyard of countless dead worlds fused into a single impossible realm. A scar left by a failure in cosmic order. No one knew where it began. No one knew where it ended. And despite everything they had witnessed across the ages, the sheer scale of it left even the First Legion
What are those things back up
speechless.
there?
The Last Crusade began with a failure. The warriors of the First Legion knew the portals were unstable. They knew separation was possible. But no one expected to arrive alone. This was no expedition. The Eternal Dominion had committed everything. Millions of warriors, countless worlds, an army powerful enough to bring entire realities to ruin. Yet the moment they crossed into Grave World, order vanished. The portals scattered the invasion across the impossible realm. Entire armies arrived alone. Some forces landed hundreds of kilometers apart. Others vanished into the crimson fog the moment they emerged. No one knew where the nearest Dominion forces were. No one knew where their allies had landed. And no one knew how large Grave World truly was.
It looks large.
Some believed it had borders. Others believed it stretched forever.
So basically everyone for himself, basically.
When the dust finally settled, only 2 vehicles stood together. Everything else, their comrades, their support forces, their entire formation, had vanished. Scattered somewhere across Grave World. Before they could even begin searching, the Founder's pulse swept across the ruins. Engines died, sensors faded, machines that had conquered worlds fell silent. This particular First Legion unit came from Asteron, one of the few advanced worlds of the Eternal Dominion. Its technology and weaponry surpassed those of most Dominion worlds. Its machines had endured for entire cycles. And here, all of it died in an instant. The technicians searched for answers, but there were none. The Founder's pulse had done its work. The vehicles would never move again. Aster 1, the oldest among them, listened in silence. Then he gave the only order he could. The crusade would continue. On foot.
Oh boy.
Aster 1 stepped out into the cold air of this dying world. His mind was already calculating. They would have to continue on foot, which meant most of their equipment would be left behind. Everything they carried, every weapon, every crate, every shell would slow them down. And on Grave World, speed often meant survival. 5 First Legion warriors, 20 servants. On most worlds that would have been enough. Enough to conquer nations, enough to end wars, enough to make entire civilizations kneel. But Grave World was different. This world had existed for countless cycles. Every creature that still lived here had earned that right. The weak died, the foolish died, the proud died. Only the strongest survived, or the smartest, or those willing to become monsters in order to endure. This was Grave World, a place where everything wanted to kill you, or worse, consume you. 5 First Legion warriors still formed a formidable force.
So it's basically everyone for themselves, basically.
An arcane medium of the First Legion. A warrior capable of bending forces that most civilizations considered impossible. And yet, Aster 1 knew the servants would be the first to fall. They always were. Useful in battle, replaceable in war. And war was coming. He could feel it. A swarm, countless, moving toward them.
Scorpion-looking things.
Aster 1 looked toward the horizon. For the first time in countless crusades, he was not certain he would survive the battle to come. Aster 7 approached Aster 1. For a while, he simply stared into the crimson horizon. Then he quietly admitted, "I can sense them too." It is difficult to estimate their numbers. For every creature I can sense, there are dozens more hidden in the fog. It is a swarm.
Fight to the death?
Aster 1 nodded, and a hungry one. Neither of them smiled. They had fought the Sworn before, on Dominion worlds, on battlefields chosen by the Eternal Dominion, where reinforcements existed, where retreat was possible.
A non-graveyard.
But this was Grave World.
As I just said.
For the first time in countless cycles, they were the invading force. Footsteps approached. 2 figures emerged from the red fog, Aster 4 and Aster 9. Aster 4 stopped beside Aster 1. "We scouted the surrounding area. There is no sign of any First Legion forces." She pointed toward the horizon, southwest, approximately 12 kilometers from our current position. "There is a ruin there, an ancient fortress overlooking the dead basin, partially collapsed, but the outer walls still stand. If we are pushed from this position, it could become our final stand." Aster 9 had barely listened. Her glowing eyes remained fixed on the horizon. She could sense them too. Thousands, no, far more, moving, crawling, an endless mass converging on their position.
Yes.
She slowly turned toward Aster 1. "So, let me guess, the vehicles aren't going anywhere?" Aster 1 nodded. The Founder's Pulse hit them harder than expected. They're finished, both of them. Aster 4 looked at the open crates. "Fine, the vehicles are dead. What about our gear? Anything there still usable against the enemy?" Aster 7 looked at the destroyed machines. "The drones are gone. The automatic turrets are gone. The support robots are gone. He pointed toward the crates, but not everything was lost. We still have rifles, RPG launchers, plenty of ammunition, enough for a prolonged engagement. And the machine gun, the heavy rotary turret remained intact.
Oh.
No electronics, no auto-targeting, just steel, barrels, and thousands of rounds. So despite all odds, we still have teeth. Aster 7 smiled, more than enough to make the swarm regret coming here. Aster 4 stepped forward.
Is it gonna last?
The plan is simple. We hold this position. We use the surroundings as cover. We spread ammunition around the perimeter. We kill as many as we can. Nobody objected, because everyone understood. It was not a good plan. It was merely the only plan. Aster 1 looked up. Standing atop the APC, watching them in silence, was Valor 17. Anything to add? Aster 1 asked. No, the plan is solid. Considering our situation, it is the best available option. He slowly turned toward the endless horizon, but while you prepare for battle, I will search for our scattered forces, for other arcane mediums, and our architect. No matter how vast this world may be, I will search, and if they are alive, I will find them. And when I do, I will know where we must go. Valor 17 rose into the air, slowly, without effort. His cloak swayed in the cold winds of Graveworld. Below him, the APC stood motionless. Valor 17 spread his arms and listened, not with his ears, but with his arcane gift. Across mountains, across ruined kingdoms, across forgotten battlefields, he searched for the scattered forces of Asteron, for other arcane mediums, for their architect, for any trace of the eternal dominion. The last crusade had only just begun. Somewhere on this endless world, millions of warriors had arrived. Meanwhile,
oh boy.
far away, hidden among the ruins, two mysterious figures watched. Motionless, patient. As they stared at the warriors below, they felt it. Pure Eldritch blood. The taste they had been denied for ages. The taste they had almost forgotten. The Forsaken carried twisted Eldritch blood, corrupted, mutated, forever changed by Graveworld. They could sense the pure blood of the Eternal Dominion, but the Dominion could no longer sense them.
Oh god, the sharp teeth reminds me of the nightmare animatronics
a long, desperate
from Final Fantasy 34.
for the blood of their own kind. The first beasts emerged from the darkness, then dozens more. They crawled over ruins, burst through cracks, and rushed the Dominion warriors from every direction. At first, it wasn't even a battle. The beasts died as quickly as they appeared. The rifles of the First Legion pierced them effortlessly. One shot, one corpse. Another shot, another corpse. Bodies piled upon bodies. Blood stained the ruins. But no matter how many fell, new beasts always took their place. The horde surged forward, endless, mindless, driven only by hunger. The First Legion held the line. Servants fired without pause. Not a single step back. Not yet. Still, the beasts kept coming. More and more and
Endless
more.
waves of them, I'm guessing.
Entire waves disappeared beneath gunfire. Yet the horde did not slow.
Bloodthirsty,
Valor
apparently.
17 stepped forward. Without fear, without hesitation. He raised his hands. Lightning tore through the battlefield. For a moment, victory seemed certain.
No,
But
probably
only for
not.
a moment. Because behind the dead stood even more. An ocean.
My
of
goodness, how
claws
many
and
of them?
teeth.
I'm guessing there are endless waves of them.
And then the first line broke. The beasts were fragile, easy to kill. But if they reached you,
You're
they
dead.
tore flesh from bone in seconds.
As I just said.
Servants died first, pulled apart, ripped open, consumed beneath the swarm. The first legion was forced back, one step, then another. The battlefield belonged to the swarm now. The first legion were not invincible, no matter their skill, their reflexes, or their experience. When countless enemies threw themselves at a single warrior, eventually, one of them would get through. Bone shattered, blood erupted into the air. Half his face was torn apart. High above the battlefield, Valor 17 immediately sensed it. One of his comrades had been gravely wounded. He looked down. Aster 7 was surrounded. The swarm closed around him, claws raised. The beasts were certain the feast had begun. They were wrong. Aster 7 slowly reached for his sword. Blood poured from the ruined side of his face. One eye was gone, the other burned with fury. This was the mistake of every enemy of the First Legion. They believed that a wounded legionary was finished. In a single motion, the sword flashed. Dozens of creatures were cut apart. Bodies collapsed. The swarm recoiled. The First Legion could bleed. They could be wounded, but even broken, they remained deadly. Valor 17 descended immediately. The battle still raged around them, yet his attention was fixed on Aster 7. The warrior stood among dozens of corpses. Half his face was gone. Blood ran down his armor. "How bad is it?" Valor 17 asked.
Looks pretty bad.
Aster 7 shrugged. "Nothing serious. Lost an eye.
You just got your eye cut out.
Side anymore. But Founder's blood will fix it." He pointed at the injector on his belt. "Give me a few minutes, and I'll be back to normal."
Okay.
Valor 17 remained silent. Then he looked around the battlefield. "It is worse than we expected. The swarm is endless. We must fall back." Aster 7 nodded. "Agreed. Order the retreat. I'll heal and follow." Without hesitation, Valor 17 rose into the sky to warn the others. Aster 7 remained alone. He removed the injector. Inside, Founder's blood. The sacred gift of the immortal Founders. He pressed it into his arm. The liquid burned. His wounds began to heal. Slowly. Too slowly. And then...
Oh, crap.
He felt it. A presence. Heavy. Ancient. Predatory.
Oh, crap.
Aster 7 turned around and froze. In front of him stood a foe, worthy of Grave World itself. Aster 7 studied the creature, evaluating, calculating. The result was immediate. Even at full strength, victory was uncertain. Now, wounded and alone, gods were terrible. Aster 7 stared at the beast, then slowly drew his sword. There would be no retreat, no second chance. Only one of them would leave this place alive. Bodies of slain creatures covered the ground. Their twisted forms lay piled atop one another, and among them lay every servant who had accompanied the First Legion. All 20 of them dead, not one had survived. Valor 17 drifted above the battlefield. Behind his blindfold, his arcane gift swept across the carnage. He sensed the countless corpses of beasts, the fallen servants. And beyond them, the endless swarm still advancing. Yet hope remained. 4 presences still burned brightly, separated, surrounded, still fighting. Aster 9 remained calm. Her rifle roared again and again. Wherever she aimed, another creature fell. Aster 1 stood unbroken. Blood covered his armor. The beasts crashed against him like waves against stone. None endured. Aster 4 moved like a phantom. Every shot found its target. Every step carried her away before the beast could strike. Valor 17 raised his hand. His thoughts crossed the battlefield, entering the minds of the surviving warriors. His voice was calm, absolute. The order stands. This position is lost. All servants are dead. Fall back immediately. Retreat south to the ruins. We regroup there and continue the battle on our terms. The order had been given. They obeyed. One after another, their signatures faded into the distance. Valor 17 was about to depart as well, but then he felt it. Another presence, an arcane medium.
Behind you?
Then he saw her. A beautiful woman ascended from the sea of crimson mist. Her movements were graceful, almost weightless. Enormous wings unfolded behind her, like those of a butterfly. Majestic, terrifying. For a moment, Valor 17 forgot to move, because he knew
He's
what
dead.
she was. Not from experience, not from battle, but from whispers. Stories told only in secret, stories the Eternal Dominion wished forgotten. The Forsaken. Warriors stranded upon Grave World, those who consumed the flesh of beasts, and eventually the flesh of their own kind.
Cannibals!
To survive, to endure, until the line between man and monster vanished forever. The woman before him was one of them. Her blindfold concealed her eyes, yet Valor 17 could feel her senses locked onto him, studying him. The crimson winds howled, neither moved, neither spoke. For a brief moment, the battlefield disappeared. There was only silence, the calm before the storm. Then the air trembled. Dark energy erupted around the Forsaken. Her wings spread wider. Ancient, savage, untamed power surged from her body. Valor 17's expression hardened. Without hesitation, he unleashed his own power. 2 arcane mediums, 2 beings standing just beneath the architects themselves. 1 loyal to the Eternal Dominion, 1 abandoned by the gods she once served. And now, their battle was about to begin. Meanwhile, Aster 4 and Aster 9 were falling back. The swarm pursued them, Fortunately, the terrain worked in their favor. The narrow passages forced the beasts into bottlenecks. Their numbers became a burden. Shot after shot echoed through the crimson ruins. The 2 First Legion warriors fought while retreating, using every corner, every cliff, every narrow passage to survive. Then Aster IV saw something far beyond the swarm. A massive silhouette. An alpha beast. For a moment she slowed, not because she feared the monster, but because something about it felt wrong. Its claws dripped with blood, and protruding from its skull was a sword embedded deep inside. Then she saw what the alpha was carrying. A corpse, broken, torn apart. The lower half was gone, armor shattered, blood dripping from mangled flesh. For a moment, Aster IV couldn't believe what she was seeing. Neither could Aster IX, because they recognized him. Aster VII. The alpha beast raised the corpse slightly. The sword in its skull suddenly made sense. Aster VII had fought the Alpha, and he had nearly killed it. But his injuries, his exhaustion, had been too much. His final strike had failed, and now he was dead. Aster IV stared at the ruined remains of her comrade. Death was not unknown among immortals, nor was sacrifice. But moments like this served as a reminder. No matter how skilled a warrior becomes, no matter how many battles they survive, no matter how long they live, eventually, everyone meets an enemy they cannot defeat. The alpha beast tossed the corpse aside. It struck the ground with a sickening sound. Immediately, the lesser beasts rushed toward it. Clawing, tearing, feeding. Aster IV's grip tightened around her rifle. Aster IX stared in silence. Then rage replaced shock. Both warriors screamed. Their voices echoed across the battlefield. Every instinct told them to charge, to avenge Aster VII, to slaughter every beast responsible. But they couldn't. The swarm was still coming, and survival came first. Through clenched teeth, they continued to retreat, firing without pause, leaving behind the shattered remains of their fallen comrade. Meanwhile, far away from the retreat, far away from the swarm, Aster I climbed onto the summit of a jagged cliff. At last, he had escaped. The beasts that pursued him had lost sight of him among the rocks, or perhaps they simply couldn't climb high enough. Aster I scanned the horizon. Nothing, no sign of his comrades. Only endless cliffs, dead valleys, and thick crimson fog rolling through the canyons.
Spooky.
Then he felt it. An arcane pulse. Powerful, violent. It shook the air itself. Aster I frowned. A medium. No. Two immense sources of arcane power clashing somewhere beyond the fog. That made no sense. Arcane mediums did not fight one another, not under the sacred creed of the immortal founders. Such conflicts were forbidden. Then he heard something else. A sound, a wet screech, followed by the beating of flesh.
What?
Aster I turned.
Oh God.
Something was ascending. Two silhouettes emerged from the fog below, flying upward toward him.
Oh, yikes. Two of them.
Carcasses. Massive. Grotesque. Their swollen bodies pulsed with corrupted flesh. Long tendrils swayed beneath them. Their jaws twitched hungrily. Aster One slowly raised his rifle, steadied his aim. 2 shots. That was all it would take. 2 precise shots, and the creatures would fall. He pulled the trigger. Click. Nothing.
Out of
His
ammo.
expression darkened. Empty.
He dead.
Not
He
a
gone.
single round remained. For a moment, he almost laughed. So, it had finally come to this. No rifles, no machines, no distance. Only steel and skill. The carcasses screeched. Their speed doubled. Fog exploded beneath them as they charged. Aster One lowered the rifle, looked at it one last time, then let it fall. He slowly reached for the sword resting on his back, his fingers wrapped around the hilt. The familiar weight settled into his grip, a blade forged by the eternal dominion, ancient, unbreakable. The carcasses rushed closer.
That's terrifying right there.
Then suddenly, without warning, the creatures died. Their bodies burst apart. Black blood scattered across the crimson sky. Broken flesh crashed upon the rocks. Yet Aster One did not relax. His expression grew colder.
You never
more
know what will
serious.
happen if that happens.
Because whoever had slain those beasts had not done so to save him. No, it was something else, something older, something he recognized immediately. The instinct of a warrior.
It's one of those things again.
Far away,
Oh,
a lone
that was that
figure
thing.
stood among the mist. Tall, grotesque, its
Glowing
body
eyes.
twisted by corruption. One arm no longer flesh, but a living blade. Dark, ragged wings stretched behind it like torn banners. And despite everything, Aster One felt something familiar. A first legionnaire, or rather, what remained of one, a Forsaken. Yet beneath the corruption, Aster One
terrifying.
could still sense it. Discipline, strength, and something else. The ruthless instinct to survive. Whatever he had become, he had not survived Graveworld by accident. The realization came instantly. The flying creatures had simply been in the way. The Forsaken desired no interruptions. Only a duel. And strangely, Aster One welcomed it. The swarm had been mindless, a force of nature, but this was different. Standing before him was a warrior, someone worthy. Aster One raised his blade. His breathing remained steady, mind clear, body relaxed. The Forsaken leaned forward, muscles tightened, claws dug into stone.
Getting ready for battle.
He was ready. Then they moved. First walking, then faster, and faster still, until both burst into a sprint. No hesitation, no fear, only the desperate hunger to test themselves, to see whose will was stronger. The
Meanwhile,
last remnants of the swarm were still coming. Relentless, unwilling to let their prey escape.
they're probably
Aster
blood
One
hungry.
had already reached the ancient staircase. She planted her feet, raised her rifle, and fired. Muzzle flashes illuminated the ruins. Shot after shot pierced the crimson mist. Aster 4 sprinted toward her, breathing heavily, boots splashing through blood-soaked stone. Behind her, the swarm closed in.
She's gonna die.
Aster 9 never looked away, never moved. She kept firing,
Must have been
covering
wounded.
Aster 4, buying her every second she could. One creature fell, then another.
These things just don't give up.
Yet still, they came.
Good grief.
Finally, Aster 4 reached the stairs. She climbed beside Aster 9. No words were exchanged. None were needed. She turned, raised her rifle, and together, they opened fire. Red blood sprayed across the stone. The beasts were torn apart, one after another. Still, the two warriors kept firing until... Click.
Out of ammo.
Aster 9's rifle fell silent. A moment later, click. Aster 4's weapon was empty as well. For a heartbeat, nothing moved. Then the final beast staggered. A hole opened across its chest. It swayed, its claws twitched, and finally, it collapsed, dead. Silence returned. Aster 4 lowered her rifle. Aster 9 exhaled. The creatures that had hunted them across Grave World were gone, at least for now. Yet, as expected,
except for that,
there was no time to celebrate, no time to breathe.
because that one is coming toward you.
Because in the distance, something moved. A colossal silhouette slowly emerged from the crimson haze, towering, menacing. And still, the sword remained lodged deep inside its skull.
It's the same one that killed their comrade.
Growled, expecting fear.
Reminds me of
expecting
Destroyer
desperation.
from Godzilla vs. Destroyer.
Instead, two rifles hit the stone stairs. Without exchanging a single word, both women reached for the hilts chained to their backs. A faint smile appeared on Aster 4's lips. Aster 9 smirked.
Could be the final
The
stand.
Alpha had made a mistake. It had outlived the swarm, and now it stood alone. Aster 4 exhaled slowly and wrapped her fingers around the hilt of her sword. Soon, the debt of blood would be paid.
Meanwhile,
The clash of their swords unleashed a shockwave so violent that the surrounding cliffs shattered. The Forsaken roared, a roar filled with fury, with humiliation. Its burning eyes locked onto Aster 1. And then he attacked, again and again and again. Its colossal blade carved through the air. The earth split beneath its feet. Each strike carried enough force to crush armored vehicles, enough power to reduce ordinary warriors to blood and dust. But Aster 1 simply wasn't there. A step to the side, a slight turn of the shoulder, a single movement, nothing wasted, nothing hurried. He evaded every strike with terrifying precision, like he had already seen the attack before it happened. The Forsaken snarled, faster, more savage.
Terrifying.
Its claws slashed, its sword descended, it swung with everything it had. And then, pain. Aster 1 moved, a flash of steel. The sword pierced deep into the Forsaken's chest. Blood erupted into the air. The beast staggered, its eyes widened. Aster 1 was already gone, standing several meters away, silent, calm, watching. The Forsaken roared in agony, real agony. He charged once more, desperate, raging. Its blade descended with enough force to split the earth. Aster 1 sidestepped. The strike missed, and before the Forsaken could recover, Aster 1 thrust upward, straight beneath the ribs. The blade sank deep. The Forsaken froze. Its mouth opened. A choked growl escaped his throat. For the first time in a very long while, he felt fear. Aster 1 pulled the sword free. Blood poured from the wound. The Forsaken dropped to one knee. Aster 1 simply stood there. Blood dripped from his sword. He didn't move, didn't speak, didn't taunt. He merely watched. And that that terrified the Forsaken more than any wound, because suddenly, nothing made sense. The Forsaken had survived Graveworld for centuries. He knew the mountains, the mists, the beasts. He had devoured monsters, consumed tainted blood, endured horrors that would have broken lesser warriors. Yet this outsider, this warrior who had arrived only hours ago, was defeating him. Every exchange favored Aster One, every mistake was punished. The Forsaken was losing, and he knew it. He looked at Aster One, looked at the sword, and chose survival. He turned and ran.
Retreated.
Honor meant nothing to him, not anymore. Graveworld had taught him that long ago. The proud die, the honorable die.
Oh, God.
Only those willing to abandon everything endure. For a moment, Aster One simply stared. Disbelief, then anger. Coward, to begin a duel and abandon it, to reject a warrior's death. There was no greater disgrace. The Forsaken knew this, and he didn't care. He retreated, step by step, toward the edge of the cliff. Aster One followed, sword gripped tightly in his hand, determined to finish what he had started. Without warning, the Forsaken leaped, his wings spread wide, and he vanished into the crimson mist below. Aster One stopped at the edge, staring into the abyss. Anger boiled within him. Then, something enormous moved behind him. Aster One slowly turned.
Oh,
a
crap.
colossal beast emerged from the crimson haze, its body long and segmented, covered in chitin. Rows of jagged legs scraped against the stone. Spikes protruded from its armored shell. Its massive form twisted through the darkness, like a
That's not good.
Crawling out of the abyss. A lesser man would have felt fear. Aster One felt relief. All the rage he felt toward the Forsaken, all the anger burning inside him, could now be unleashed upon the monster before him. He lowered his stance, measured the distance, the terrain, the creature's speed, where to strike, where to evade, how to kill it. The battle had already begun inside his mind. And that was exactly what the Forsaken had been waiting for. Something shot upward from beneath the cliff. Fast, silent, deadly. Aster One felt it instantly. His instincts screamed, danger, behind him. He turned, but it was too late.
He's dead.
The Forsaken burst from below, blade already descending.
No
he's
warning,
dead. No challenge, no honor, only a killing blow. Aster One raised his sword, tried to regroup, but the Forsaken was already upon him.
Oh, he's dead.
The blade cut through flesh,
Yep.
through bone,
As I said.
steel. And in a single heartbeat, Aster One's head was no longer attached to his body. The Forsaken stared at the fallen body. Aster One was stronger, more disciplined. Yet Aster One did not know Graveworld. The Forsaken did, and in the end, that made all the difference. Was there honor in this victory? No, not even a shred of it. But honor does not keep you alive. Honor does not stop your blood from spilling onto the stones. On Graveworld, victory is rarely beautiful, rarely fair, and almost never honorable. Because in the end, the dead do not argue about how they were defeated. Only the living are left to tell the story.
Can't see, you probably censored that.
Chunks of stone tumble into the abyss as the Alpha Beast drags its colossal body onto the summit. Its claws dig into ancient stone. Its breathing is heavy, its eyes burn with fury. After chasing the intruders through the ruins, after climbing all the way to the top, it finally reaches its prey. Aster 9 stands motionless, back against the ruins, blade raised, no escape. The alpha beast snarls. A low, monstrous laugh escapes its throat. Finally, the prey is trapped. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Then it feels it, a stare, cold, unmoving, watching. The alpha beast slowly lifts its head, and there, standing atop the ruins, is Aster 4. She doesn't move, doesn't flinch, doesn't prepare to run. Her golden eyes remain fixed on the monster. And for the first time, the alpha beast hesitates. A strange feeling creeps into its mind. It came here believing it had cornered its prey. But now, standing beneath that silent gaze, it feels like it is the one being hunted. Too late. Aster 9 explodes forward, a blur, no hesitation. She remembered what happened to Aster 7. She wouldn't make the same mistake. The Alpha's armor was strongest near the head, its legs were not. A flash of
legs,
steel,
yep.
A single strike. One of the Alpha Beast's legs is severed cleanly. Blood sprays across the ruins. The creature howls, a scream of shock, a scream of pain. At that exact moment, Aster 4 moves. She launches herself from the ruins, descending like a spear, straight for the monster's head. The Alpha senses death approaching. Instinct takes over. It raises one massive arm and blocks. Too slow. Aster 4's blade cuts through flesh, through armor, through bone. The Alpha Beast's arm separates from its body, spinning through the air, crashing into the ruins below. Aster 9 doesn't stop. One strike. Second leg. Another strike. Third. Fourth. Clean. Precise. Merciless. The Alpha Beast collapses. Its massive body crashes onto the stone floor. The entire ruin trembles. The monster writhes helplessly, legs severed, arm missing, blood pours from countless wounds. Aster 4 lands gracefully. Aster 9 lowers her blade.
Goodness gracious.
But the beast refuses to die. For all its cunning, for all its speed, for all the corpses it had left behind, it had failed to see the trap closing around it. Aster 4 and Aster 9 charge. The beast does not retreat. Fear vanishes.
Can't, because its legs are cut off.
Its muscles tighten. Its claws dig into stone. One last chance. Kill or be killed. It roars. A roar of agony. A roar of hatred. A roar that promises death to everything standing before it. Its claws tear through the air, stone shatters, but Aster 4 is already gone. Aster 9 moves like a ghost, too fast, too precise.
Yeet!
Every strike, every lunge, every desperate swing misses. The Alpha Beast hunted hundreds, yet now it faced two warriors fighting as one. Both leap, blades raised. The first strike belongs to Aster 4. Steel pierces
and the
beast's
second eyes
eye and drives deep into its skull. The Alpha Beast screams.
Juicy.
But Aster 9 is already there. She grabs the sword Aster 7 left buried in the monster's flesh. Aster 9 roars and drives the blade forward. Both swords cross. Steel tears through bone, through brain, through everything the monster once was. And then, silence. Aster 7's sword remains planted before the corpse. Not abandoned, not forgotten. A monument to a warrior who fell. Aster 4 and Aster 9 stand beside it. No cheers, no triumph. Only silence. The kind shared between warriors who understand that victory and loss often arrive together. Their comrades' battle is over. War taught them long ago that grief is a luxury. Yet neither moves. For a few moments longer, they simply stand there, watching, remembering. Suddenly, an unstable arcane communication portal tears open behind them. Its light flickers. And then, the voice of Valor, 17, weak, exhausted. Aster 9, Aster 4, you're all that's left. I can no longer sense Aster 7. Aster 1 is gone. Only your signatures remain. Head north. I sensed something there. The portal violently flickers and disappears. Silence returns. Aster 9 stares at the empty space for a few moments longer. Valor 17 is gone. Whether he still lives or has already joined the Fallen, they may never know. Aster 9 slowly turns toward Aster 4. For a few seconds, they simply look at one another. No words are needed. They both understand the same thing. They lost their comrades. But at least
the 2 remaining ones left.
They still have each other.
For now.
The crimson sky burns above Graveworld. Far below, endless ruins disappear into the horizon. Valor 17 sits motionless. A massive stone spike pierces through his chest and abdomen. Blood
probably
drips
censored,
slowly
probably,
onto the
which is,
crimson grass.
understandable.
Every breath burns. Every movement sends agony through his body. Yet his expression remains calm, focused, unyielding. If he had enough time, he could still survive.
But he doesn't.
Inject Founder's blood, channel his arcane power, break the stone apart, heal, escape. But time is the one thing he no longer possesses. A shadow descends from the sky, large wings,
Oh, so he was still fighting that
graceful,
thing when before he got impaled.
terrifying. The forsaken arcane medium lands softly before him. She studies his wounds, then smiles. You fought well, but you never stood a chance. The difference between you and me is that I stopped fearing what lies inside us. When you become forsaken, when you surrender yourself to twisted Eldritch blood, you lose pieces of yourself, but you gain power, more power than the immortal Founders would ever allow. Valor 17 remains silent. The Forsaken tilts her head. She glances at the stone piercing his body. It must hurt. I could help you. I could heal you. Silence. No reaction. Oh, I see. You still follow the creed. And even now, standing at death's door, you still cling to it. What a foolish thing to die for. For the first time, Valor 17 speaks. His voice is quiet, but firm. At least some of us still remember our vows. The Forsaken smiles. She looks toward the crimson horizon. You speak of vows, but what would you do when your gods stop answering? We were abandoned, stranded, forgotten. And when hunger became stronger than faith, when starvation tears your mind apart, you are forced to become something else. Forced to consume your own in order to survive. And I must tell you, there is no escape from Grave World. And there is no chance for the Eternal Dominion to fulfill its mission. So instead of dying for a cause that abandoned you, before she can finish, a stone spike launches toward her. The spike flies straight toward Forsaken Heart, a final attack, not for survival, not for revenge, but for duty. Because despite her words, despite the pain, Valor 17 remains loyal. The stone stops, less than an inch from her chest, frozen in midair. Valor 17's expression changes. Shock. She flicks her fingers. The spike abruptly changes direction and hurtles back toward Valor 17, faster than sight. There is no time to dodge, no strength to resist. Valor 17 sees it coming, and suddenly, he stops fighting. A faint smile appears on his face. So this is how it ends. After countless battles, after countless cycles, not against an army, not against some mindless beast, but against an enemy. The spike strikes. His head erupts into blood and shattered bone. Fragments scatter across the grass. And Valor 17, arcane medium of the Eternal Dominion, dies instantly. The Forsaken remains motionless. For the first time, her composure falters. Then annoyance creeps into her voice. Damn, that wasn't my intention. I should have crippled you, not killed you. The Forsaken First Legion warrior emerges from the mist. Aster One's corpse hangs from his claws. Hard to believe. We used to be like them. Yes, we were, but that was a very long time ago. Luckily for us, we learned how to adapt. Something that cannot be said about them. The warrior nods. True. Those who obey the creed die. Those who abandon it live. They both stare at the corpses. Then warrior adds, there are still 2 First Legion warriors alive. They escaped. We can still hunt them. The Forsaken arcane medium slowly shakes her head. No need. There are other Forsaken out there. Hungry, desperate, and far less patient than we are. Sooner or later, someone will find them. Let them have their fun. The crimson skies of Grave World burn endlessly. Aster 4 and Aster 9 walk in silence. 2 survivors, 2 warriors, lost on a world that should not exist. To their right, the remains of countless civilizations, tower blocks fused with ancient fortresses, broken highways twisting into impossible structures, a monument to worlds torn apart and stitched together. To their left, a mountain of flesh. Countless bodies merged together, hands reaching outward, faces frozen in eternal agony. The ground itself breathes, the air tastes of ash and blood. This is Grave World, a world born from failure, a world forged from countless realities. A world where the laws of nature are broken.
Yikes.
And yet, life still exists. The two continue their journey, unaware of what lies ahead. New allies. New enemies. Ancient secrets. Forgotten truths. Wars older than memory.
That looks like a Transformer hand.
Horrors beyond imagination. Far behind them, the battlefield grows silent. The banner of the Eternal Dominion still stands, torn, blood-stained, surrounded by corpses, yet unbroken. Because despite every defeat, despite every sacrifice, the sacred decree remains unchanged. The Eternal Dominion will not retreat, it will not surrender, and it will not forget. For the immortal founders have declared, Grave World shall be cleansed, no matter the cost.
That's something Optimus Prime would say.
If you're still here, it means you've just experienced the very first chapter of Eldritch Paradox, The Last Crusade. I truly hope you enjoyed this journey into Grave World. This is an independent project created by a single person, and every future episode depends on the support of those who believe in it. If you'd like to help this story continue, you can support the project on Patreon. There you'll find the director's cut, presented in its original artistic form, along with behind-the-scenes content, production updates, and much more. In the end, the future of this universe is not decided by me alone. It's decided by everyone who chooses to keep it alive. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next chapter.
Alright. Holy crap, that was awesome. Go support this if you guys can, because I want to see more of these. So yeah, that's it for me. You probably can't see me because I have the lights off and everything, but holy crap, that was awesome. I can't wait to see the next one. As I already said, go subscribe to CF Studio to see what he does next with this, and go support this project or series or what it's going to be. And yeah, as always, I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.